Yeah, hello guys. Welcome to Tungabhadra Networks once again. And we are dealing with Palo Alto codes, okay? And we are going to discuss more about Palo Alto features. Today, especially, we are dealing with firewall fundamentals, okay? In these firewall fundamentals, what are the things that we are going to look into? This means we need to know what is a firewall, okay? What is a firewall and why we need the firewall. And apart from that, what are the firewall models that there in the Palo Alto, and also the basic features, okay? Basic features, and as well as firewall interface types and zones. These are the things that we are going to discuss more about in this class. I think someone has joined. Okay. First thing is why we need firewalls, okay? What are firewalls, and why we need firewalls. మనం ఒక నెట్వర్క్లో ఉన్నప్పుడు మనకి ఫైర్ వాల్స్ ఏ విధంగా ఉపయోగపడతాయి, మనం ఫైర్ వాల్స్ని ఎందుకు యూజ్ చేస్తాం అనేది ఇప్పుడు తెలుసుకుందాం, ఓకే? మనకి ఫైర్ వాల్స్, మనకి ఫస్ట్ ఫైర్ వాల్ అంటే ఏంటి అంటే, ఫైర్ వాల్ ఈజ్ ఏ సెక్యూరిటీ డివైస్ where it can control our network by monitoring and filtering the incoming and outgoing traffic, okay? ఇన్కమింగ్ అవుట్ గోయింగ్ ట్రాఫిక్ అంటే మనకి ఏదైతే ట్రాఫిక్ లోపలికి వస్తుందో బయట నుంచి, అదేవిధంగా మన ట్రాఫిక్ ఇన్కమింగ్, మన ఇన్సైడ్ ట్రాఫిక్ అవుట్ సైడ్కి వెళ్తుందో, వాట్ ఫైర్ వాల్ విల్ డూ ఇస్, ఈ ఫైర్ వాల్ అనేది మానిటర్ చేస్తుంటుంది, ఓకే? ద ఫైర్ వాల్ విల్ మానిటర్ ద ట్రాఫిక్, all the traffic whatever incoming and outgoing, and based upon the rules in the routing, we can call it as an access list, right? In the Palo Alto firewall, we will be calling as an security rules. By using an security rules, this firewall will be monitoring and inspecting the traffic, okay? If the rules that are defined is to allow this traffic, it will allow, or otherwise it will drop the traffic, okay? That is main function of the firewall. It is acting as a barrier between our inside network and the outside network. Inside network means whatever the traffic that is inside our organization, okay? And outside network is, which is called as an internet, okay? It is acting as a barrier between our inside network and also the outside network, and it will monitor and control the traffic, all the incoming traffic and as well as outgoing traffic, by using an security rules. We have to define the security. మనం ఈ ఫైర్ వాల్ అనేది సెక్యూరిటీ రూల్స్ డిఫైన్ చేయాలి, ఓకే? ఫర్ దిస్ ట్రాఫిక్ ఐ వాంట్ టు అలో, ఫర్ స్పెసిఫిక్ సోర్స్ అండ్ డెస్టినేషన్ I have to allow the traffic. So we will defining the rule in the firewall so that the firewall acts upon it, okay? This is how the firewall will work, and the function of the firewall, okay? And apart from that, there are multiple essential features that firewall supports, okay? Especially the Palo Alto firewall supports all these 7 features. The first one is an traffic control, okay? Traffic control means whatever we have discussed, whatever the traffic that is outgoing and incoming, okay? Incoming and outgoing traffic will be controlled by the firewall by using some predetermined security rules, okay? And why we are using why firewall is monitoring and filtering this incoming outgoing traffic means to prevent the unauthorized access, okay? Unauthorized access means whoever entering in our organization without any permissions, okay? అంతే కదా. ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఫర్ సపోజ్ ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ తీసుకున్నాం. మనకి ఆఫీస్కి ఎంటర్ అవ్వాలన్నా కానీ, ఒక స్కూల్ ఆర్ కాలేజ్లో ఎంటర్ అవ్వాలన్నా కానీ మనకి యాక్సెస్ ఉండాలి, ఓకే? గేట్ దగ్గర మనకి స్కూల్స్ కాలేజెస్ అయితే గేట్ దగ్గర గేట్ కీపర్ ఉంటాడు. సో ఇఫ్ యూ షో ద ఐడి కార్డ్, దెన్ ఓన్లీ హీ విల్ అలో. సో యూ ఆర్ అన్ authorized person. If you don't have any ID card, or if you don't have anything to enter into the premises, those are the unauthorized access. Okay, in the same way ఇక్కడ మనకి ఈ సెక్యూరిటీలో కూడా ఎలా అంటే these firewalls will be these firewalls will monitor and filter the incoming outgoing traffic, and it will also prevent the unauthorized access. Okay, unauthorized access means those who are not have a permission to enter. Okay, so this traffic control will helps to prevent the unauthorized access. Okay, and the second thing is an protection against attacks. Okay, protection against attacks means in manaki we are mostly dealing with an traffic that is going to the internet, right? Internet means we have multiple users and there are uh, multiple public users available. Okay, whenever you are accessing something on the websites, there will be a chance of attackings. Okay, malware attacks as well as threats. Okay, hacking. So in order to prevent all those attacks, we are using the firewalls to block all those malicious traffic before reaching our network. Okay, and the third thing is an segmentation. How the segmentation will work in the firewall means మనకి ఈ స్విచ్చింగ్లో చూసుకున్నట్టయితే ఒక నెట్వర్క్ని డివైడ్ చేయడానికి మనం వీలాన్స్ యూజ్ చేస్తాం. ఓకే, in order to divide our whole network into subnets. Okay, we are using the VLAN, right? How VLAN works, the systems which are available in that VLAN will be able to communicate in that VLAN, right? And if we want to communicate one system in one VLAN to other system in other VLAN, we need something like routers, right? In the same way మనకి ఫైర్వాల్లో కూడా we are doing segmentation. Okay, we are doing the segmentation by using an zones. Okay, we will have an topic called zones. We are segmenting the network. Okay, we are segmenting the network by using the zones. Okay, what the zones will do is whatever the systems in that particular zone will be able to access in that particular zone. Okay, and whatever the systems or whatever the servers that are available in the other zone, they won't be able to access. Okay, in order to access, we have to create a rules. Okay, so this segmentation will be helpful in order to isolate sensitive information and system to expose to the other networks. Okay, మనం ఇంటర్నల్గా కొన్ని సిస్టమ్స్ని కానీ కొన్ని నెట్వర్క్స్ కానీ వీ డోంట్ వాంట్ ఎక్స్పోజ్ టు ద other networks. Okay, in order to not to expose our sensitive information. Okay, we are creating a segments and by using an zones. Okay, for suppose in the zones we'll be having inside zone, outside zone, DMZ zone. Okay, we'll discuss more about that in the zone topic. Okay, but just remember that the segmentation will be work based upon the zones. Okay, and policy enforcement. Okay, what policy enforcement is, the firewall will be enforce the security policies by to allow or block the traffic. Okay, yeah, for suppose how the policy enforcement will work is, I want to block particular user to access the particular application. Like for suppose మనం ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ తీసుకుందాం. ఓకే, ఫర్ సపోజ్ ఐ హ్యావ్ an 100 users. Okay, but for the first 50 users I want to block the Facebook and Instagram. Okay, and for other 50 users I have to give the full access of the internet. Okay, full access of the internet, they will be able to access everything in the internet. Okay, but for the first 50 users I want to block Facebook and Instagram. Okay, what we will do is, for the first 50 users we will create an rule, and we can add that 50 users in that rule. Okay, so that the firewall will act upon it. Okay, whoever the 50 users are included in that security rule, they won't be able, whenever they are trying to access the Facebook, this firewall won't allow them. Okay, because we have created a policy to not allow or to block the Facebook and Instagram for those 50 users. Okay, but the other 50 users, they have a full access, right? We are also creating one security policy for that the other 50 users to give the full access. Okay, so those 50 users will be able to access. Okay, this is how the policy enforcement will work. Okay, this policy enforcement This helps to enforce the security policy to allow or block the specific application or specific users or data flow based upon the organization requirement. This is what we call means this depends upon the organization requirement. ఎలా అంటే మనకి ఆర్గనైజేషన్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ కొన్ని ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్లో సోషల్ మీడియాస్ అన్నీ యాక్సెస్ ఉంటాయి, కానీ కొన్ని ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్ మాత్రం ఏమైతే వాళ్ళ ఓన్లీ ఆర్గనైజేషన్కి ఏవైతే రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఉంటుందో అప్లికేషన్స్ అవి మాత్రం అలో చేస్తారో మిగతావన్నీ బ్లాక్ చేస్తారు. సో వాట్ దే ఆర్ డూయింగ్ ఈస్ దే ఆర్ యూజింగ్ ద ఫైర్ వాల్ అండ్ దే ఆర్ క్రియేటింగ్ ఏ పాలసీస్. So they will be blocking all the social media, all entertainment, okay, all Netflix, Amazon, all they are blocking, and they are allowing only the company required applications only. So it depends upon the organization requirements. That's what they are mentioning here, okay. And the next thing is then monitoring and logging, okay. Monitoring and logging means whatever the firewall, see whatever the traffic మనకి ఏదైతే ట్రాఫిక్ ఫైర్ వాల్కి రీచ్ అయిందో, వాట్ ఫైర్ వాల్ విల్ డూ ఇస్ ఫైర్ వాల్ విల్ లాగ్ ఆల్ ద సెషన్స్ ఇన్ ద మానిటర్ ట్యాబ్. విల్ బీ హ్యావింగ్ మానిటర్ ట్యాబ్ వేర్ ఆల్ ద లాగ్స్ దట్ ఆర్ కమింగ్ ఇన్ ద ఫైర్ వాల్ విల్ బీ లాగ్డ్. So they will be logging all the logs, and they will be monitoring as well. Monitoring in the sense, if there is any unusual activity means if there is any threat detected, if there is any malicious attack, malicious attacks happen, or any of the hacking is happening, the firewall will monitor that, and it will be drop the traffic, okay. So all the logs will be logging in the firewall and based upon the user activity, okay. And the sixth one is an VPN support, okay. What is main thing of VPN support means we'll be having site to site VPN, right, IPsec, and these firewalls will support VPNs like VPN site to site VPNs and remote access VPNs, okay. These site to site VPNs will be configuring on same vendor or different vendor, okay. Same vendor means one side we are using Palo Alto, other side you are using some other firewalls, okay. Or one side will be Palo Alto, other side is also Palo Alto. So we will be creating an IPsec tunnel or site to site tunnel between same vendors or different vendors, okay. The firewalls will also, this Palo Alto firewall will be support those type of VPNs as well, okay. And the compliance means the firewall helps the organization meet regular requirements by providing necessary security controls. Means here in the Palo Alto, we'll be having some, apart from protecting against threats and malwares, they are also having some dynamic updates where you have to install on regular basis, so that the firewall will be most compliance to that, to protect the threats and malicious attacks, okay. And it is also we can also control the traffic and control the whatever the traffic that is coming inside of our network based upon this complaints as well, okay. Here what we are doing is, in this complaints what we are doing is we are updating the our firewall on a daily basis based upon the requirement, okay. If in the dynamic updates we will having antivirus updates, threat prevention updates, okay, malware updates, all these updates will be available in the dynamic updates. So on the regular basis we have to upgrade the firewall in order to achieve these compliances, okay. And these are some features that are essential in the firewall, Palo Alto firewall, okay. Do you have any questions or any queries on this regarding the firewall and firewall essential features? Yes, ఇంటర్నల్గా అయినా కూడా ట్రాక్ చేస్తుంది. సి పాలో ఆల్టో అనేది ఈ సెక్యూరిటీ డొమైన్లో లీడింగ్ వెండర్ అనమాట. మీరు ఇప్పుడు వేరే అదర్ వెండర్ చూసుకుంటే ఆ, అంత మోస్ట్ ఎఫెక్టివ్ కాదు, కానీ పాలో ఆల్టో అనేది ఈ లీడింగ్ సెక్యూరిటీ డొమైన్లో లీడింగ్ వెండర్, ఓకే. సో దట్స్ వై వీ ప్రిఫర్ గో విత్ అండ్ పాలో ఆల్టో. సిస్టమ్స్లో అది విండోస్ ఫైర్వాల్ దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో వన్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ ఫైర్వాల్. అది ఏం చేస్తుంటే జస్ట్ ఓన్లీ ఇట్ విల్ బీ బ్లాకింగ్ ఓన్లీ యాక్సెస్ టు బేస్డ్ అపాన్ ద ఐపీస్ ఓన్లీ. ఓకే, బట్ దీస్ ఫైర్వాల్స్ will be based upon all. That is the next thing that we are going to discuss. Okay, what is a legacy firewall and what is next generation firewall? You can comes to know more about that. Yes, yes. Mm. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that is correct. Because whenever the traffic going outside, what the stateful firewall will do is the stateful firewall will create a sessions. Okay. For suppose let us take this is our topology. Okay, and let's take my firewall is connected to the internet. Okay, I'm trying to ping 8.8.8 from my system. Okay, let us take my system IP is 10.10.10.10 and I am reaching 8.8 here. Okay, so whenever the traffic going from this PC to the internet, we have a firewall in between. What the firewall will do is firewall will be maintaining a sessions. Okay, the firewall will create a session for this traffic and it will send out the traffic. Okay, and also it will also check the security policy, whatever the security policy that we have created, whether it is allow, it will allow the traffic, whether it is block, it will allow the it will block the traffic. Okay, for suppose I have created a policy to allow. Okay, the firewall will allow the traffic and it will reach the internet. In response, what it will do is, okay, in response what it will is, it is already having a session, right? It will match with this session and it will be the firewall will allow the traffic inside of our network. Okay, in return it won't it doesn't have any require, it doesn't require any other separate policy for return traffic, because we have already having an existing session for that traffic. So it will match with this session and the firewall will allow the traffic. Mhm. What is the question? Okay, I will tell you if it is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is this on the same Palo Alto firewall or any other firewall? Maybe that is maybe that they have an feature that needs an policy for return traffic as well. I am not sure, but in the Palo Alto, we don't need any return policy for that return traffic. We will need only the traffic that is going outbound. Yeah, yeah, that is yeah, yeah. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay. See here, we have two different types of firewalls. Okay. In the firewalls, we'll be having legacy firewall and also the next generation firewalls. What is a legacy firewall? Means these legacy firewalls will be monitoring and the control the traffic based upon the L2, L3 information. Okay. We'll be having L2, L3 information, right? Ethernet and IP header. Okay, is depends upon the these legacy firewalls will control the traffic based upon the L2, L3 information. Okay, that means it will be supporting up to L3 only. Okay, but in the next generation firewalls, it will be monitoring and controlling the traffic till layer 7. Okay, layer 7 means application layer. Okay, so in this next generation firewalls, it will be supporting it will be supporting the network based upon the application. Okay, based upon the L7, and it is also called an application information. Apart from L2 and L3, it will be support till L7. Okay, this is main difference between legacy firewalls and next generation firewalls. And apart from that, we'll be having stateless and stateful firewalls as well. Stateless means the firewalls that won't maintain any sessions. Okay, but in the stateful firewalls, we will be maintaining the sessions. So the Palo Alto is an next generation firewalls where it will be monitoring and controlling the traffic based on the applications and based upon the users. Okay, based upon the source IP, destination IP. Okay, and the Palo Alto firewall is also a stateful firewall where it maintains the sessions. Okay, in the sessions we'll be having session tables, and whatever the traffic coming or whatever the traffic reaching the firewalls, it will be creating a sessions in the session table, so that if any return traffic comes, it will be matching with that existing session. Okay, for the return traffic, it will be matching with the existing session, and it will be allow the traffic. Okay, that is how stateful firewalls will work. And Palo Alto is a next generation firewall as well as stateful firewall. Okay. Yeah, yes, 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 go ahead. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm. Hello. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Yeah, actually, here in the firewall, it will be inspecting the traffic till layer 7, right? Layer 7 means application layer. Okay. Wow, how it will work is whenever the traffic comes, the firewall will go into the multiple stages. Okay, multiple stages, which I am going to discuss in the next class. Okay, we'll be having multiple stages. So each stage it will be doing some inspection. Okay, in the first stage it will be extracting all the L2 L3 information, and apart from this it will be enforcing the policies. Okay, and it will be checking NAT policies and security policies. And after that what it will do is it will be going with an application inspection. Okay, it will be identify the applications, what is the application that we are using. For suppose if you are browsing something on the internet. Okay, it will be inspecting what type of traffic it is. Okay, in that it will be if it is an web based applications, it mostly use an HTTPS only, right? So HTTPS is an application layer, right? So in that case, what it will do, the firewall will be identifying what type of applications. Okay, so this is how the firewalls will be working, and this is how the next generation firewalls also will work. Okay, it will be identify the applications, and it will also identify what type of traffic that we are going to accessing from the web. I think in the Palo Alto there is no such type of web application firewalls. All the firewalls are next generation firewalls. All will be have the inspection till layer 7. There is no web application firewalls in the Palo Alto. Maybe it is different from it is an only the checkpoint will be using web application firewall only for web based traffic, it seems. Uh-huh. Mhm. Okay, okay. That's good. But in the Palo Alto, we don't have any web-based firewall, web application-based firewalls. All. Mhm. No, no, no. SQL attacks. Every NGF W firewalls will be able to do that. Not only maybe that is any feature that web application firewall will be used, but all the NGFW firewalls will be able to inspect and detect that SQL attacks as well. Yeah, yeah, we can do. We will be doing a lab. Okay, we'll do that. Yeah, yeah, no issues. And the next part of this class is hardware models of the Palo Alto firewall. Okay, what are the different variety of hardware models, and where they can use, we can discuss here. Okay, there are multiple models, hardware models in the Palo Alto, where we'll be calling the PA series firewalls, which are hardware firewalls. And the first one is an PA 220 series and PA 400 series. Okay, these hardware models will be based upon the requirement of the customers. Okay, this is the customer. They will choose the hardware firewall based upon their requirement. Okay, if their business type is small and there are less number of users and there is less traffic in their network, they will be going with the PA 200 series and PA 400 series firewalls. Okay, because these are ideally small firewalls where will be a, like an your sweet box will be there, right? These are these firewalls are that much of size. Okay, and it will be supports minimum. It will supports only the less traffic. Okay, less traffic means it will be having supports only the less number of sessions, and also the processing wise and the memory wise it will be having less. Okay, less processing and less memory, and that is mostly ideal for the small business and branch offices. Okay, and the next hardware model is an PA800 model, where it is suitable for small to medium size enterprises. Okay, small to medium size enterprise in the sense where we'll be having some big branch offices, right? So in that case, these PA800 series firewalls are mostly suitable, and it will be having when compared with these PA200 and 400 series firewalls, this PA800 series will have supported more number of sessions, and as well as the processing wise and memory wise, it will be having higher processing and higher memory than PA200 and PA400 series firewalls. Okay, and next model of the firewall is we have 3200 series, and it will be mostly designed for the mid-size organizations, where it will be providing when compared with the 800 and 200 series firewalls, it will be supports a high number of sessions, and where the companies where it will have large number of users. Okay, large number of users, and where it will having more traffic, these firewalls will be more suitable in that case. And it will, if wherever the company is in high throughputs. Okay, high throughput means high bandwidth. Okay, it will also support PA3200 series firewalls will support high bandwidth as well. Okay, and in this model we will be including 3220 and 3250 models. Okay, in the 3200 series we will be having 3220 and 3250. Okay, and the next one is an PA 5200 series, where it will be used for the large enterprises and data centers. Okay, in the data large enterprises means wherever if you see the MNCs will be there, right? The like Infosys, TCS, and they are maintaining the data centers. Okay, in the data centers it will be handling the company network, right? The company traffic it will be handling. Okay, so in that case, these PA5200 series firewalls are mostly suitable because of its scalability and performance. Okay, scalability here in every network device we'll be having some management plane and data planes, right? So our real traffic will be managed by the data planes. Okay, uh, in uh, uh, in 200 series firewalls, in 400 series, 800 series, and 3200 series firewalls, we'll be having only one data planes. Okay, but from 5200 series firewalls, it will be having dual data planes. Okay, dual data plane means we'll be having two data planes. We'll be calling as an DP0 and DP1. Okay, so what it will do is the real traffic in that network, whatever the traffic that is flowing, it will be using for the redundancy, and based upon the traffic types, it will be switching between DP0 and data plane 0 and data plane 1. Okay, so we'll be having scalability in 5200 series, where where it will be handling large enterprises network. Okay, and here these PA700 series firewalls will mostly used in the ISPs. Okay, ISPs means the ISPs where it will be managing the whole area networks, right? In that particular area it will be managing all the net traffic, right? So PA700 series firewalls are mostly suitable in that ISPs. Okay, where it will be an mm, where it will be suitable to manage all the service provider network. Okay, so this PS700 series firewalls is like rack size. Okay, we'll be having 15 unit rack or 12 unit rack, right? So it will be of that big size. Okay, all these firewall models we can do an RMS. RMS means we can be exchanging the faulty firewall with an refurbished firewalls. Okay, but if you want to do an RMA for this 700 series firewall, we can't do, but we can do an module. Okay, because it is a rack side, right? We can't take every time in and out. Okay, we'll be having modules for those firewalls, And for those firewalls, we can, if you want, we can, whatever the model will be having issues, we can do, we can plug in, and we can fix, replace with that other new modules. Okay, these are the hardware models in the Palo Alto, and also we have the VM series firewalls. Okay, where the customers, where they don't have space to install an hardware series firewalls, they will be going with an VM series firewalls. This VM series firewall also depends upon the customer requirement. Okay, based upon their requirement, they are going with. We have VM 500 series firewalls for small deployments, but for scalability and performance wise, we will also having a VM 100, VM 300, and VM 500 firewalls. Okay, and we have also CN series firewalls, but we are not dealing with these CN series firewalls. We are only dealing with hardware models and VM models. Okay, and if you see here, these are some of the pictures I grabbed. This is PA 220, which is like it will be, an we can handle in our hands. Okay, we can just easily lift in our hands. This is a model of the PA 220, and the below one is an PA 400 series firewalls, and this above one is an PA 820 and uh, PA820 and PA850 files. Okay, if you see here, all will be having RJ45K or RJ45 ports, and on the right side we'll be having one for the management and one for the console. But here, if you see on the 400 series firewall also, you can see the same. But here in the PA820 from PA800 series firewalls, we'll be having RJ45 and fiber ports, as well as two set of ports. Here on the right side you are seeing two set of ports, right? One set is for management and console, and other set is for HA ports. Okay, high availability. We'll be having high availability in this Palo Alto, where we will be discuss more about that high availability HA ports. Okay, one set is for high availability, and one set is for management and console. But these PA200 and PA400 series firewalls, we don't have this HA ports. We will be discuss. I will discuss more about that whenever we are going with an high availability topic. Okay, and these are the PA 5200 and 3200 firewalls. Okay, these are the models. And if I want to show 7000 series firewall, this is a big size. Okay, we'll be having rack size mountain firewalls, and this is the hardware models. And software models, we can install the software. Okay, the VM series we can install in any of the cloud or any of the VM. Okay, we will be having ESXi cloud, and also we have Azure and AWS. Like, okay, we can install those VM series software in that cloud, and we can access. Okay, so installing the software is easier than maintaining the hardware model, right? So most of them will be going with an not most of them. The customers who don't have an space to accommodate with the hardware firewall, they are going with an software based. Okay, and next thing is an the interface types. Okay, I discuss about some interface here, right? These are all the interface, and what are the, we have an interface, but we can also configure these interfaces based upon our requirement. Okay, okay, the first interface is a management interface. I told you, right? This management interface, we'll be having management interface on every firewall. Okay, we'll be having management interface on every firewalls. If you see, these are all the management interface. Why we can use a management interface? One thing you have to note down here is, one thing you need to remember is, this man in the firewall, the Palo Alto firewall will mostly, we can access through the web GUI. Okay, all the configuration, all the troubleshooting will be done on the web GUI only. Okay, so if you want to log in through the firewall's web GUI, we need a management interface. Okay, management interface. This management interface will be used in both ways. Okay, we'll be using that management interface for web interface or web GUI, and also for the SSH. SSH means we can also get the CLI access of the firewall. Okay, mostly we are logging the firewall with an web GUI. Okay, and for any troubleshooting purpose only we will be using CLI for configuration, for monitoring, for everything. This Palo Alto firewalls is an web GUI based. Okay, and this is the uses of the management interface. Okay, and HA interfaces. Okay, these HA interfaces, what are the uses of HA interfaces means whenever you are configuring firewalls. Okay, whenever this availability mainly used for the redundancy. Okay, in the redundancy we need to connect the firewalls in high availability. In order to connect these firewalls in high availability, we need HA interface. There are two interfaces, HA1 interface and HA2 interface. So in order to connect the firewalls in HA, we will configure the interfaces in HA. If the firewalls have the dedicated H interfaces. Okay, I have shown you, right, this 800 series firewall have a dedicated H interfaces, but these two firewalls don't have an dedicated H interfaces. So we'll be configuring these interface as an HA, and we'll be using that. If you have a dedicated H interfaces, no need of using any we will be calling as an in-band interface or data plane interfaces. So we don't use in-band or data plane interfaces. So we'll be having dedicated HA. Okay. If you don't have dedicated H interfaces, we'll be configuring interface as an H interface, and we'll be using for high availability. Okay, and the next thing is an tap interface. Okay, what is the use of this tap interface means whenever you have an network, and your traffic is if you want to monitor your traffic in your network. Okay, without any deviation or without any changes in your network. Okay, you can use the firewall with the tap interface. Okay, and where this firewall monitor the traffic without actively participating in it, and useful for analysis and securely monitoring. If I want to show in the diagram, for suppose you have a network with some devices. Let's suppose you have an router here, and one more router. You have a switch, and you have an PC here. Okay, your network is connected to the internet. For suppose your traffic is flowing in this way. Okay, your traffic is flowing in this way, and your your company came up with some requirement in order to monitor all the traffic that is flowing in your organization. Okay, what you can do is you can just configure a firewall, take a firewall and configure a firewall with a tap interface. Just connect that with your switch. Okay, what switch will do is this firewall will not participate in your network. Okay, this firewall will not participate in your network. What it will do is whatever the traffic that is flowing inside and outside of your network, it will get from the switch, and it will be logging all the logs in the firewall. Okay, and whenever administrator want to take an inspection, they will log into the firewall, and it will inspect the logs. Okay, whether there are any unauthorized access happening in your network or not, or what type of traffic it is coming into your network or going out of your network. So this tap interface will be used. Okay, it won't actively participate in your network. It's just sitting aside and just monitoring. Okay, that is, you want to configure an tap interface here. Okay, whatever the interface that are using on this firewall, that is a tap interface, and that is connected to your switch. This switch will be providing all the network information to this firewall, so that it will be monitoring, and it will be logging all the traffic. Okay, And layer 2 interface, layer 2, if you configure the interface, okay, as an layer 2, it will be acting as an switch, and these functions like a switch, whatever the switch will do, this layer 2 interface will do the same way, okay. And layer 3 interface, in the same way like layer 2, it will also acting as an router when you the interface is configured as an layer 3, okay. Layer 3 means all the routing you need, an routing, okay. So there will be an virtual router in the firewall where all the routing information will be configured and monitor in this virtual router, okay. Whenever you are configuring interface as an L3, that virtual interface virtual router will be activated, okay. We have to call that virtual router in our interface where you are going to configure interface as an L3. So all the L3 information and that particular interface will be operates as an router, and it will take a part in the routing, okay, L3 traffic. And the next thing is an virtual wire interface, okay. This virtual wire interface is also it will be operates transparently between your network segment without altering IP address of traffic passing through it. How it will work is it will also work in an somewhat, I think someone mute your, yeah, okay. Yeah, here the virtual interface is also work in the same way as an tap interface, but there is some difference between tap interface and virtual wire interface. In the trap interface, what it will do, it will not actively participate in your network, right? So it will just monitor and logging the whatever the traffic that is coming and going in your network, right? So, but the virtual interface, what it will do is it will also monitor the traffic and whatever the network, whatever the traffic coming into your network, okay. For let's suppose this is the let's take this is your topology, okay. And your network is connected to your internet, okay. Yeah, these connections are like this. The PC is connected to a switch, which is connected to the router, and the router is also connected to another router, and the other router is connected to network, okay. If there is a requirement to monitor the traffic and to monitor and inspect the traffic, okay, inspect the traffic, and also we need to block some certain traffic without changing anything in the network, okay. For suppose if you want to add any devices in between you in your network, we need to modify configuration based upon that, right? Based upon that, what we need to do, we need to also configure an IP addresses, and also we need to add some routes in order to route the traffic through those devices, right? So our requirement is without changing any configuration in our network, we need to add the firewall and we need to monitor the network, okay. In that case, what we can do is we can add the firewall in between your network, okay, in between your routers. So whatever the interfaces that we have connected, okay, let's suppose the one interface from the router connected to the firewall, and other firewall interface that is connected it to the another router, okay. Whatever the interfaces that we have connected here, this is one interface that is connected to the router, and this is one interface that is connected to these two interfaces, what we can do is we can configure as an virtual wire interface, so that it will be transferred between your these two routers. These are all the virtual interfaces, virtual wire interface that is not taking part in your network, but what it will do is whatever the traffic flowing inside and outside your network, okay, traffic flowing inside and outside your network, and what it will do is it will be logging here, and it will also monitor We can also configure and security policies here on this firewall, and if you want to block any traffic that you want, you can do that in this firewall. But in the tap interface model, we can't do that. It will just monitor and it will be logging the traffic. But in order to manage your network and in order to control your network flowing inside and outside without changing any IPs, okay, without, if you want to connect any device in between your in between your routers, we need to configure an IP address on this, right? So we don't need to configure any IP address here. We don't need to change any configuration in this firewall, in this router, in this router. So without changing anything, what we are doing is we are connecting the firewalls in order to monitor and inspect the traffic. If you want to block any traffic or if you want to manage any traffic, we can also manage from the firewall by creating a security rule. What the firewall will do is firewall will inspect any each traffic that is flowing inside and outside. If there is any traffic that needs to be blocked, the firewall will block the traffic. Okay, so that is the purpose of virtual wide interface. Without altering anything, we are managing our network. That is mainly virtual wire interface. Okay, and the next thing is an aggregate interface. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, that's correct. You just monitor and log the traffic, whatever flowing through the network. Yeah, mirroring. That's correct. In the routing terminal, we can call it as a mirroring. We can configure an mirror port on the switch, and we can configure a tap on the firewall so that whatever the traffic receives on this switch, it will be mirroring in the firewall. Okay, it will be the firewall will be logging in this firewall. The traffic will be logging on this firewall. Yeah, we don't configure any IP address, and we are not changing any IP address on the routers as well. We are just plugging the firewall in between your network and managing the traffic. If you want to block any traffic, for suppose if you want to block any traffic coming from your PC to the internet, we can configure an rule. Okay, whenever the traffic reaches the firewall, it will be matching the security policy and it will block. It won't allow anything. Yeah, it's just an interface, not on the same firewall. It will be a different firewall only. See, if they don't have a firewall in their network, they just want to monitor their network without altering any change, without changing or without altering any configuration in their network. Okay, so in that case, they will go with the firewall with an virtual wire interface. Yeah, virtual wire mode. Yeah. Yes. Yes. The practically it will be there. Yes. Yes. We can do this. Yeah. And next interface type is an aggregate interface. Okay, and aggregate interface we'll be using aggregate interface mainly for combining of multiple interface into a single logical interface, right? In Cisco terminology, we'll be calling as an ether channel or port channel, right? In the Palo Alto, we'll be calling as an aggregate interface in order to increase the bandwidth and in order to provide the redundancy. We'll be using this aggregate interface where multiple physical interfaces are logically combining to form a single interface. Okay, that is the main purpose of aggregate interface here. And VLAN interface here. With this VLAN interface in the Palo Alto mostly using based on the sub interfaces. Okay, if you want to create an VLAN interface, we are creating a sub interface in the interfaces. So this sub interface is aligned with one VLAN. Okay, so in order to provide or in order to allow multiple VLAN multiple VLAN traffic through the single interface, we'll be creating an sub interface and we'll be assigning that to the VLAN. So that will be calling as an VLAN interface here. So why means in order to flow multiple VLAN traffic through a single physical interface, we are creating an VLAN interface by configuring sub interface here. Okay, and the next one is a tunnel interface. These tunnel interfaces are very much useful when you are creating an IPsec tunnel or remote access VPNs. Okay, in the site-to-site VPNs, we are using this tunnel interface in order to flow the our network traffic through the tunnel. Okay, and also here in the remote access VPN also we are creating an tunnel interface so that whatever the traffic flowing from our laptop or Windows machine to our corporate network, it will be flowing through the tunnel interface only. So in order to provide a secure channel or in order to provide security for our traffic, we will be creating an tunnel interface here. Okay, these are the different interface types. Do you have any queries or any questions on these interface types? Okay, good. The next one is an zones. Okay, in firewalls, I told you right. The segmentation will mainly depends upon the zones. Okay, zone means we are logically in switching we are logically separating a network into a sub networks, right? So in the same way in the firewall also we are logically segmenting the network by using a zones, so that these zones whatever the devices or whatever the servers that are in the same zone, that will be contacting to each other. Okay, that will be accessible to the each other, or that will be reachable to each other, and whatever the devices in the other zone, they won't be able to access. In order to access them, we need to create an specific rule so that they will be able to contact. Okay, why we are creating a zone means, so if we have everything in one zone, every device will be able to access other device, right? Whatever we don't want to provide access to the outside devices to outside devices to access our internal devices, internal servers or whatever it may be. So for that purpose, in order to provide security to our internal network, or in order to protect our internal network from outside of the traffic coming from outside or some attacks. Okay, maybe the malicious attack, to protect the our network from the malicious attacks, we are creating a zones. Okay, we are creating a zones, and that will be helpful to protect our network from the malicious attacks, or and also it will also protect from the hacking. Okay, so these are the main purpose of the zones. Okay, in order to if you want to access, for suppose I have to access some of the services outside, okay, outside, and to protect to in order to access the services which are in the internet from our internal zone, so we need to create an security rule, okay. In a if you create a security rule, whenever the traffic reaches the firewall, it will check that security policy, whether if it is allowed it will allow, if not it will be blocking, so that we will be blocking the unauthorized access, okay, by using as zones, okay. And here we will be having whatever the traffic, whatever the devices or whatever the interfaces that are connected in our network, we'll be calling as a trust zone or inside zone, because whatever the devices or whatever servers inside our zone, we know what they are, okay. But whatever the devices that are in the outside, we don't know what they are, and we don't know how they behaves, okay. So that's why we'll be calling as an the devices which are in the inside, which are grouped together in our inside network, we'll be calling as an trust zone or inside zone. And whatever the devices that are in the network, okay, in the internet, because we don't know what are those devices and we don't know how they behave, so that's why we'll be calling as an untrust zone or outside zone, okay. This represents external network that are not inherently trusted, okay, because we don't know how they behave, right? We don't trust them, so that's why we'll be calling as an untrusted outside zone. But we have a DMZ zone, okay. DMZ zone we are creating because we have an servers, okay, we have an servers that is inside of our network, but that is placed in an public, we'll be accessing through the public IPs, so that will be placed in the DMZ zone, so that it will also in order to protect our inside network devices, we'll be placing in the DMZ zone, creating one DMZ zone and placing those servers in the DMZ zone, because these servers are inside of our network, but they are facing towards the public, okay. They will be accessible with the they will be accessing using only with the public IP addresses, okay. So in that case what we will do is we will be creating an DMZ zone and placing those servers in the DMZ DMZ zone, okay. So these are the type of zones that we have in the Palo Alto. Do you have any queries on these zones as well? Yes, yes. Whenever we are doing the lab, we'll be discussing more about this. Okay. Yeah. This ends our first class till the zones. Tomorrow we'll be going with an packet flow, how the packet will be inspected inside the firewall, okay. Once the traffic reaches the firewall, what the firewall will do inside, okay, how the packet will be inspected, how the traffic will be inspected, what are the stages it when it has to be go inside the firewall, okay. We'll discuss more about this packet flow in tomorrow's class, okay. Do you have any questions or any queries till now? Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm. I think we don't have such type of information. Okay, we don't have this port is vulnerable, or we don't have this port is not vulnerable. Okay, whatever the traffic that is coming, we can be blocking the traffic based upon the IP address, but we cannot say which port is vulnerable and which port is not vulnerable. Okay, we don't have such type of information. Mm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, no, as far as I know, I haven't seen any such documents regarding the ports. Okay, this port is, as far as I know, I don't have any. I haven't seen that, but let me check if there are any such document. I will let you know. Okay. Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, actually, maybe in the cyber security there will be I'm not sure there will be an document with that, but mostly we are allowing the traffic, or we are blocking the traffic based upon the source user, or source IP, destination IP, and as well as applications. Okay, whatever the applications they are using the default ports, we'll be going with that, but we don't have an uh, we don't have feasibility to allow the traffic based upon the ports. Okay, if you are you if they have any ports that are vulnerable, or if they have any ports that creating an some attacks. Okay, we'll be creating an service, okay, for that port, and we'll be blocking that, uh, until unless we'll be getting any exploits from that particular port. We won't be configuring the rules or policies based on the ports. Okay. Yeah, I will check and I will let you know once. Yeah. Any other queries before closing this class? Yeah, no issues. Thanks, guys. I think I will go with no. Okay, and thanks for joining for the first class. Okay, we'll be start our class tomorrow at the same time. Thanks, guys. Bye. Yeah, I will be sharing record session in next 10-15 minutes. Okay. Yeah, thank you.